Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. Now, as you can see today, I'm doing a video differently from how I normally do it. As today, I'm discussing how to create a sword fight scene, okay? So for this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to do a sword fight scene, in real life so you get a better idea of it instead of just me explaining it to you like I normally would for my videos, so you can get the best understanding of how to create a sword fight scene if you're interested in making your own animated stories and or movies, whatever, TV shows, etc. You're making your own project, your own story based project, whether movies, TV shows, you know, even video games, whatever. You get the point, okay? So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to doing it, you focus on the four main directions. That is the best way to understand how to create a sword fight scene, as there is four main directions for um, creating a sword fight, okay? Which, as I said before, I will show you right here. There's four main directions, as you can see here, okay? This is left diagonal, okay? Or you might say left strike. This is right diagonal, or you might say right strike. This is horizontal, um, for that matter. And this is vertical, okay? Those are the four main directions if you are actually working on creating a sword fight. You um, are going to focus on doing. Now, there are exceptions to a certain extent, but if you're wanting to learn the fundamentals, which is the reason why you even look up a video called How to Create a Sword Fight Anyway, anyone who's really good at sword fighting, at least creating them, would not look up a video talking about how to create a sword fight anyway. So, in other words, the people obviously watching this video, the vast majority, if not all of them, are beginners, for that matter. So, obviously, if you are a beginner, knowing how to create a sword fight, to sword fighting more like, obviously knowing this is the most important thing. Okay, so in short, to answer your question, those are the four main directions if you're interested in learning how to create a sword fight. Okay, that if you want to do it. Okay, now the question obviously comes up that, of course, if people are interested in sword fight, is how do I make like a full scene for it, okay, instead of just knowing the four fundamental directions. Well, the way to understand doing that is that all you're really doing for that is creating your own number combinations, okay? Like, how I said there's four main directions. To be honest with you, you can create, obviously, your own combinations, okay? Let's just say, for example, you create your own combinations, which you might say you're going to use a left strike, a right strike, and a horizontal strike, okay? You, through those three main directions, you can obviously create your own combinations. You might say you might do three left strikes, um, one right strike, and one horizontal strike, okay? Which I'll show you once again, okay? This is an example of creating your own combination, okay? One, two, three, one, one. Okay? You see like that right there? I just created my own combination right then and there, okay? When it came to creating a fight scene, okay? And that's all you really have to do if you want to become good at fight scenes, okay? And don't focus on creating like a full blown, like 1 to 3 minute sword fight scene. Just focus on creating a very simple one that only consists of a few steps, okay? That's all you really have to do, to be quite blunt and honest with you, okay? If you can do that, your skill will, of course, like anything over time, grow gradually, okay? And if you still don't understand it, maybe put it up to a certain number. Like you might say, for example, you have 10 strikes you have to do. And just all you have to do is create your own combination of it, okay? If you're creating your own combination, you might say, you might, for example, do three left strikes, one right strike, and 6 horizontal strikes or something like that, like create your own shit, okay, to make it up, okay, um or I should say, to make a good sword fight scene. That's all you have to do. Just create your own unique combination, and sooner you know it, you might be quite surprised with how good your sword fight scenes look, okay? Because contrary to popular belief, to create a good sword fight scene, you don't have to be an extreme master and research a shitload of unnecessary information and blah 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 blah, and do a bunch of paperwork, for that matter, before you start learning how to do it. You can get started anytime, creating it. You just create your own combination. Like anything, you'll become better at it over time, okay? And that's the honest truth of the matter. And if you obviously, you know, are insecure about it, you don't need to be insecure. This shit's mad easy. At least on a fundamental level. To become a master, like create the fight scenes you see in like anime fight scenes, that obviously takes time. But for the most part, it's actually quite easy to get yourself started. Okay? As I said before, there's 4 fundamental directions, okay? Like I said, okay? I'll even demonstrate it again, okay? Uh, left diagonal, right diagonal, horizontal, and vertical, okay? Those are the 4 main directions. Yes, there are, of course, I know for the smart asses out there, there are, of course, exceptions. Like, obviously, you have, for example, an upward left diagonal strike. You have an upward right diagonal strike. You can obviously do a horizontal strike in the other direction, and even the same for vertical as well in opposite direction. But fundamentally, there's only 4 main directions out there, okay? Fundamentally, there's 4 directions out there, to be honest with you, okay? To make things simple and easy to memorize. Yes, you could do an opposite direction for each of those 4 main moves, but fundamentally, there's only 4 main directions, okay? And that is honest truth, okay? So that is my video. That is all I have to say. If you want to learn how to create a sword fight from the very basics, I hope you found it informative. And just to finish this off, I just want to mention, just to help people understand this, since we live in an age where people are talking about, entertainment is not as good as it used to be and blah, 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 the things you've heard a million times, which is very true. Entertainment is not as good as it used to be, whether it comes on a story, um, how good a script is, and even, of course, as you can see here, things like the fight scenes, specifically sword fights in this case, okay? And the truth of the matter is, if you want things to be good again, specifically if you're making your own animated movies, the best way to do it is to get yourself started actually making your own stuff. And as you can see here, for creating your own sword fight, as I demonstrated right here, it's not as hard as you think it is, okay? And even though, of course, there's other variables when it comes to making entertainment good again, specifically in this case, as I talk about mainly on my channel, for filmmaking, like story-based media type stuff, like TV shows, movies, um, video games, and stuff like that, the truth of the matter is, even though there are other things you have to focus on, like the quality of story, character designs, and yada yada yada, one of the things that obviously you need to focus on, of course, is creating fight scenes. Okay, so the truth of the matter is, what my point is that, as you can see here, creating a fight scene, a sword fight scene, is not as hard as you think it is. And when it comes to creating all the other things, whether story, character design, and all that stuff, it's not as hard as you think it is, okay? So, the truth is, doing all those things, like I was saying before with my point I was trying to make, is not as hard as you think it is for any of those things, okay? And as you see, creating sword fights, as you could see for this video, it's not that hard to do. You just have to try and develop your skill, and you'll become good at it, because fundamentally it's not that hard to do, okay? So the truth is, watch my channel if you're interested in, of course, learning how to do things. That's why I'll make future videos talking about how to create good quality sword fights, in greater detail, and not just for sword fights, but for other things as well, like story, obviously character design, and so on and so forth, so we can help make entertainment good again. And trust me, it is not as hard as you think it is, okay? For any of those variables that make up a good um, you know, movie or TV show or video game or whatever, okay? It's not as hard as you think it is. As I clearly showed you with sword fighting being an example, it's really not as hard as you think it is. You just have to get started, and sooner than you know it, you're going to be doing good at it. So we can, of course, help make entertainment great again, which is the point of the Entertainment Advice channel. So in short, this is my video. This is off to say. And simply put, if you like this video, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And that is all. And simply put it, I'm out. So bye.